Hello and welcome to Pre-Algebra, Math 64. This is a hybrid course, which means that there are some online components with this course. And the purpose of this video is to help you understand how to use some of those online components, starting with the learning management system, Canvas. So if you go to the Peninsula College website, which is just www.pencol.edu, you'll be brought to this home page. And on this home page, at the top of the page, there's a link for Canvas. Click on this link and it will bring you to the login page for Canvas. If you've never been on Canvas before, then you can use the instructions at the bottom of the page to see how to sign in. Your username is your 9-digit student ID number, and the password is the first 6 letters of your last name. Once you've logged into Canvas, you'll be brought to this Canvas homepage. And to access your specific courses, you have to hold the cursor over the courses link and select Math 64 to get to our course. This is the home page of the Canvas shell for our pre-algebra course. Notice it says Intro to Algebra. So let's talk about these links on the left-hand side of the page. The home link just takes you back to this home page. The announcements link, this is where you'll find the important information regarding the course. Canvas should send you email notifications every time there is a new announcement, but if you want to go back and look at an old announcement, you can go to this link to find it. A lot of times when students ask me questions in an email, I will refer to a specific announcement that has the answer to their question, and to go to that announcement, you might have to go and click on this announcement link and find it under this page. Well, make sure that you are aware of the announcements that are taking place throughout the course, as there may be some important information that you need to know in an announcement from your instructor. The next link is the discussions page. In the discussion section, there are all of the discussion forums for the course. We have a student discussion forum on this section of Canvas that you can use to ask questions outside of class time. The great thing about this avenue for asking questions is that the questions you post here can be beneficial to other students in the class. So if you have a question about a concept, it's a good idea to post it to the student discussion forum. Chances are, if you have a question about the material, other students do also. However, if you have a question about your grades or something personal, you should send it to your instructor in a Canvas email and not post it on one of these public forums. Then we have the modules, and this is where most of the course material is located. We have several different modules on this page. The first one is the introduction module, and in this introduction module we have an introduction to this course page, an introduction to flipped learning, and an introduction to web work. On the introduction to course page you will find a syllabus and a tutorial for the course. The Introduction to Flipped Learning page, which is where you'll find some explanations of the flipped learning style, which we'll be using in this course. Last in the introduction module is the Introduction to Web Work page. If you open this page, you'll find a short explanation of web work, which is the online component that we are using for much of our homework. And in this explanation, there is a link to a tutorial to help you understand how to navigate web work. And you should take note of the bold print that says, do not try to use web work independently from Canvas. So there's a link provided in Canvas for each section of homework. You should be using these links to access the homework and not trying to access them while you're in web work. After the introduction module, we have the chapter modules, and there's a module for each chapter, and in each chapter module, they're divided up into sections. And the content that's in each of these chapter modules is pretty much the same. Looking at the first chapter, we have first a link for the entire chapter from the textbook on an electronic PDF file. So if you want to look at more than one section at a time from chapter 1, this is a great way to access just chapter 1. In each section, there is a link for just the section from the textbook. And under this link is where you'll find the pre-algebra textbook video lecture that you're supposed to be watching before class. This other video link is additional videos for additional explanations of concepts. So this video link here is not what you're going to use to access the lectures. The lecture is actually under the textbook section. Then there is the WebWork homework link. But let's look at the textbook section link. In each of the textbook section pages, there is a link to the lecture, a YouTube video, and a link to the electronic version of the textbook for that section. And then there's a link to the odd-numbered exercises. This is a great resource to help you learn the material. Then the extra videos and a link for the homework assignments. And notice to the right we have the due date of the assignment and how many points it's worth. So this due date may be different depending on what quarter you're taking the course, which instructor you're taking the course from. If we open this page, it'll bring us to a page that has a link to that homework set in WebWork. So this is how you should be accessing homework sets, using the links provided in the modules of Canvas. And if we click on this link, it brings us to a login page for WebWork, and as the Introduction to WebWork page tells you, your username and password is just your student ID number. You just enter your student ID number twice. If we log in as Batman, since he's a student in our course, we can see what this homework set looks like. On the main menu page, all the problems are listed, and a link to access each problem, the number of attempts available, the number of attempts remaining, and what each problem is worth, and what our score is on each problem. Notice that the remaining attempts is different depending on the problem. Well, some problems you get only one attempt. If say it's a true-false question, once you try it once, it's obvious what the answer is. But some short answer questions, there's an infinite possible number of answers. So you get up to 3 attempts on some of the problems. If you don't get it right the first time, look over your work or look at the syllabus, make sure that you are entering the answer in a way that WebWork will recognize. So WebWork doesn't always recognize everything that you enter in the answer box. And on that note, to the right here we have a set info box that explains what you need to know about the set, including instructions about what problems you might deal with in the set and how you should enter them for WebWork to recognize them. So for example, if you have a number with more than 3 digits, you have to write it without a comma, or WebWork won't recognize a comma. If you're entering an exponent, you use the caret key, which is Shift-6 on most keyboards. Like if you want to say x to the 5th power, you would say x caret 5. Make sure that you ask for help before you use up all your attempts. You can ask on the discussion forum as another student. You can come to class and ask me. Make sure that you understand the problems. If you miss them entirely, you should look at the answers that are provided and make sure you understand why the answer is what it is. So let's look at the first problem. It's a true-false question, which makes sense since there was only one attempt available. Notice it says true or false written out. Don't put T or F. WebWork will not recognize T or F. You have to write either true or false in the answer box. So you have to be really careful how you enter your answers. What you can do is once you enter an answer, you can preview it before you submit it to see how WebWork recognizes it. So just look in the preview answer box. It'll show you how WebWork sees your answer. Once you have your answer, hit submit to record your answer into WebWork. To go to the next problem, hit next, go back to the problem list, click on problem list. You should also know that after you use up all your attempts, you should be able to see what the correct answer or solution is to the problem. You might have to select the show hints box to do that. No doubt you're going to have more questions about WebWork, and many students will. A good place to post questions in the student discussion forum so that everyone may benefit from your question about WebWork. In addition to these chapter modules, there is a module for the practice exams located at the bottom of the module section. So there's a link for a practice exam corresponding to each exam in the course. You should be using these practice exams to help you prepare for the graded exams and take them before the exam to see how well you understand the material. They have the same number of questions and similar problems. And they are also provided on WebWork. You may want to read the Introduction to Practice Exams to help you understand how to do them too. Then there's the course additional resource module. There's a lot of great information in this module, including detailed instructions about the calculator in the course if you have questions on how to do things in the calculator. Then we have a people page, which is information about the instructor and other students in the course. And there's a grade page, which is where you can go to check your grades. in Canvas. Keep in mind that WebWork grades are not automatically transferred to Canvas. They have to be transferred manually by your instructor. So you may not see your grades right away from WebWork. If you want to check your grades in WebWork, you can. If you just go, when you're in WebWork, go to the grades link, and you can see each of the sections, and by that there's a column that shows what your score is on the section out of how many. Ignore this third column, that's not important. Then it tells you what problems you've attempted and which ones you got incorrect. Make sure that you check this grades page before the homework is due to make sure that you've completed each of the homework sections before they are due. If you would like to be able to access the videos from one link, there is such a link available under the Introduction to Flipped Learning page. So if you click on that page, so we're taking a flipped learning approach in this classroom, which means that you have to watch the lecture outside of class and come to class prepared to complete activities on the lessons in the video. This does not mean that you will only be doing homework in class. You may have to do homework outside of class as well as in class to understand the material. I mean, this is a 5 credit hour course. For every credit hour, you should be doing, on average, you'll be doing 2 hours outside of class of studying, which might be watching videos or it could be doing homework as well. So notice on this page there is a link to the pre-algebra textbook videos on YouTube, where you can access all of them in one place, or there's a link to Dropbox that has all the videos where you can actually download them if you have a slow internet connection, for example. And I also wanted to point out that there are links at the top of the page that are for all your courses in Canvas. You shouldn't need to use these for your course. If you want to do something inside of the pre-algebra course, use the links on the left side here of the page that we've been talking about. On the upper right corner of the page, there's a link where your name is, where you can access your profile and the settings of your account. Next to that, there will be a link that says Inbox. You click on the Inbox link to access the Canvas email server. For additional help, there's a help link, and there's a lot of useful information on this page. So let's look at that. You can ask your instructor a question, search Canvas guides, report a problem, get support from Peninsula College. Let's see, we want to look at a good place to start is the Canvas student guide. There's a quick start guide you can start with, but if you want more information, you can go to the actual Canvas student guide. And there are different categories with the type of questions you might have. Click on a question to find the answer. The one I want to look at specifically is under Profile and Settings. It's how to add a profile picture. You should go here and look at how to add a profile picture to your profile, because if you add a picture and make sure it's something that actually shows what you look like, it will help your instructor learn your name to be able to communicate better with you. If you have additional questions about the course, you can post them online on the discussion forum, send your instructor a Canvas email, or bring them to class.